She wrote a book called The Golf Course Millionaire. It's a great book on that side, but the commonality that we have is we're both golfers and we love to golf, but we've also done big business deals from the golf course. You know it, I know it. Being able to connect with people on a deeper level, doing something that you love and somebody else enjoys, but you can also talk about how much you love business, it can open up so many doors. Thanks to Robin Richter and her wonderful team at Wearable Imaging, Inc. They were the ones that actually created the branded products on your tables. The one thing that I love about Robin is that she is a connector. She's elegant, smart. She knows her stuff, but she's so passionate about it. You know, when you meet all the founders in here, the commonality in here is that people are passionate about what they do. And she's brought life and business and success into the passion and what she does with her company. So I just want to thank you, Robin, for being here today.
Well, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
So I wanted to share a little bit first. So first, how long ago did you start the company itself? And how did you actually get into this part of the business?
So we just turned 33 last year. Or last week, excuse me, last
33 years.
Yes, 33. 1992, we started the business. I started with my father, and it all kind of spun out of playing golf. I actually played professionally for about 2 years, and before that, I played in college, and I then went like 180 into the cosmetic business for about 10 years. And then I was recruited by a gentleman who owned a golf company and wanted me to come in as a marketing partner. So I joined that company, and he had a very small business of putting logos on golf balls. You know, that was like a little bit part of his business, what he did. It was Roger Dunn Golf Shops. I don't know if you guys all have heard that name. If you play golf, I'm sure you have. But so he wanted me to grow and develop that business. And so I started taking like a booth to trade shows and in the industry of the promotional products world. And I fell in love with it so much that I was like, oh my gosh, these people are having too much fun, like too much fun. And it was like just a giant shopping, from crystal to, you name it, and it was there. And everybody was just having so much fun. And I got more and more into the branding of the golf ball, segment. We grew it to almost 900,000 in less than a year. And I'm like, what am I doing? I could be doing this myself. And so based on, I played golf and I had a lot of connections out there, and I just asked my father to back me and started the business in 92. And here we still are. And, I'm loving it actually more and more, because everything is so vastly changing in this world. And, it's fun all the new technology, especially in our business. We meet with our vendors like every other week, and I'm just like a little kid, like, what do you have? And I'm obsessed by finding that latest and greatest.
She is cute. She'll send something. She's like, oh my gosh, did you see this? This is so cool. This is so cute. She's like, look at this. And one of the things I admire about Robin is we have a commonality of loving the golf course. How many of you are golfers in here or enjoy golfing? I'm like, yeah, golf. Who's going to golf while they're here? No. And one of the things that we talk about, so this episode, this feature, this interview is going to be featured on Women Unlocking Wealth. It's one of our shows in the Broadcast Your Authority network. And one of the biggest things for that specific show that we're featuring Robin here today is really talking about helping those female founders. Nothing against the men in the room, but this is what this particular show is. And I want to share a little bit about her story real quick with this, because she wrote a book called The Golf Course Millionaire. It's a great book on that side, but the commonality that we have is we're both golfers and we love to golf, but we've also done big business deals from the golf course. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in some other segments, but you know it, I know it. Being able to connect with people on a deeper level, doing something that you love and somebody else enjoys, but you can also talk about how much you love business, it can open up so many doors. Can you share just a couple of when you first stepped on a golf course and started doing more business versus the golf side, how did it feel for you in the business side?
Anytime you're doing anything you love, it just puts you in a very relaxed, natural setting. So, I mean, the book launched in 2018, and I was inspired to write it. We have Tamara used to work with Allison Maslin, who owns Pinnacle Global Network, and she's still my coach after 14 years. But she got tired of me telling her so many stories of, oh, I met them through golf, or oh, yeah, they were on.
So tell them that you can make connections through golf.
Yeah, and she finally said, "You need to share your story and talk about the fun things that you do." And I mean, one of the great stories I share in the book is, does anybody watch the show Grey's Anatomy? Yeah. So after 21 years, we still do all the swag for that event and 21 seasons, which is unbelievable. And the way I met her, one of the producers on the show was, I bid on a walk-on part on Chicago Hope, and it was just I was just an extra, and I paid, I don't know, $1,000, I don't know, to just do this walk-on part. And so in order to do that, you had to get your picture taken and have your badge and all that stuff. So I walked into this trailer, and this to get our picture taken, my husband was actually with me, and he got to do it too. And there were pictures all over the wall of this one woman with all these famous people, and they were all golf pictures, they're foursomes or whatever in events. And I'm like, who the heck is this lady? And the guy who was taking the picture said, oh, she's one of our co-producers. And I said, geez, I need to meet her. So we're in the commissary having lunch, and I see her. And I said to my husband, I've got to go talk to her because, I need to meet this woman. So I said, come on, you're coming with me. And I introduced myself, and I said, God, you're so fortunate. You get to play with all these people. And she said, yeah, I am. And my husband nudges and says, oh, my wife is a really good golfer. She goes, oh, really? She goes, hey, what are you doing? Literally, this was in 2 weeks, we have the scramble event. Can I get your number? Can you play? Anyway, I ended up playing. And we became friends, and I ended up doing Ally McBeal and The Practice and all of these shows that she was connected with David E. Kelly. Then she called me one day and said, oh my God, we're doing this pilot and we're shooting 5 episodes, and I need, all the stuff for, the show's name on there, from lanyards to all the stuff. And so, of course, we did it really quickly for her. And she said, oh, it's the show called Grey's Anatomy. And I'm like, oh, that's a weird name.
Now look at it.
She said, it may get picked up, it may not, And so 3 months later, she called me. She goes, oh my God, we got picked up by ABC. And here we are 21 years later, and just, so much fun. And, that's just one story. But golf has just been an amazing blessing.
Well, and you as a female founder in general, you took the action, you made the connection, and that's what's so similar with our personalities. When you want to be in the room with someone that you want to meet, you make it happen, right? So you said you spent $1,000 to go do XYZ, right? There's been rooms that I want to get in to meet certain people, and I'll spend thousands of dollars just to be in that room surrounded by those individuals. Because those connections become power partners. They become clients. They become, other people, friends for life, golf buddies. And that's what I love about you and your personalities is you'll take the action as well. You see the opportunity, you're going to go make that happen, and is on or off the golf course on that side. So I think it's just important to reiterate that, because in this specific show that we do, we talk and we encourage more on the women's business for this particular show is there's a lot of women that don't actually hit, their 7 figures annually. And that's the mission of that show, is to really help encompass these larger conversations for that. Like you said, right off the bat on the other company, you're like, oh, we hit 900,000. Like, why am I not doing this myself? If you can do something, if you're working for another company, you can do that. And I think that's what's the most important thing, is having the passion behind it, having something else that you're passionate about, golf, and being able to tie those things together. I had a story as well. So I treated an influential colleague and friend and later became my maid of honor. And we'll talk about her a little bit more this afternoon. But I literally had set the intention to take this individual golfing, right? It was out at Pebble Beach golf course in California. And, we went out, we took her for her birthday. It was like a cool experience. It's like $700 a person to play golf there, right? I told my friend and assistant, I said, hey, can you call the florist? Can we get some flowers delivered at the thing? And so when I saw the flowers come in, we were done with the golf, right? Most beautiful course ever, right? We were talking business, doing opportunities, and we were talking about how to work together. These big flowers come in, and you can look at my Instagram later and find them. And I looked at them like, how much were those? I was just like, she was like, $777. I was like, oh, I that's fine, but I thought it was funny. Though these big flowers come in, she was like, these are the most beautiful bouquets that I've ever gotten. My husband hasn't even gotten me this big of a bouquet. So I was like, oh, I just had my assistant order some flowers. I was like, I just need to know a florist that's near Pebble Beach, right? Which was cool. She actually cried from the experience. It later turned into a beautiful business partnership that became a client. And then there was multiple six-figure deals that came through that experience. And I was like, well, that's cool. And it all happened on the golf course because one, I'm also passionate about that. But it's like, what are you all doing out there that you're super passionate about that you could tie in with your business to have these meaningful conversations? And I think, Robin, you're truly great at what you do. But the thing is you also have this incredible company that create these beautiful products. And that's why I wanted to share that with you today. So these bags that are on the tables, the deck of cards with the little chips with the Vegas theme, we put some thought into it, obviously being Vegas. If any of you are, doing anything with branded products, t-shirts, lanyards for events, they've got it all. So I just wanted to say thank you again for coming out here. I just wanted to highlight her today. So give her an applause. So
thanks for having me.